What if I told you that the exhaustion you've been feeling isn't laziness, but something far deeper? In a world that glorifies hustle and productivity, it's easy to dismiss emotional and physical fatigue as just a lack of effort. But here's the truth. Burnout and laziness are not the same. Burnout is a silent thief, creeping in slowly and robbing you of your energy, motivation, and even your sense of self. And yet, so many people struggle to tell the difference, blaming themselves for something that's not their fault. Have you ever felt like you're running on autopilot, disconnected from the things that once brought you joy? Or maybe you've noticed that no matter how much you rest, the exhaustion never really goes away. These are just a few of the signs that you might be dealing with burnout, not laziness. The problem is, most of us don't recognize it until it's too late. But what if you could spot the warning signs early and take back control before burnout takes over? In this video, we're going to uncover the truth about burnout, how to differentiate it from laziness, recognize its stages, and most importantly, regain your motivation. If you've ever felt stuck in a cycle of exhaustion and self-doubt, this is your chance to break free. So, let's dive in and explore how understanding burnout can transform not just your energy, but your entire outlook on life. Laziness is often misunderstood, but at its core, it's a stable personality trait. Think of it as a consistent lack of effort or drive to engage in activities, even when there's no external pressure. It's not necessarily harmful, it's just how some people are wired. For example, someone might choose to binge watch an entire series instead of tackling their to-do list, not because they're overwhelmed, but because they simply don't feel like it. Laziness doesn't come with the emotional or physical toll that burnout does. It's like hitting the snooze button on life, but without the crushing weight of exhaustion. Burnout, on the other hand, is an entirely different beast. It's not a choice or a personality trait. It's a state of emotional, mental, and physical depletion caused by prolonged stress. Imagine running a marathon every single day without rest. That's what burnout feels like. It creeps up gradually, starting with small signs like irritability or trouble sleeping, and eventually snowballing into complete exhaustion. Unlike laziness, burnout doesn't stem from a lack of effort. It's the result of too much effort, often without proper boundaries or self-care. It's not about not wanting to do something. It's about not being able to anymore. The key difference lies in the emotional undertone. Laziness feels light. It's a shrug, maybe later. Burnout feels heavy, like carrying a backpack full of bricks you can't put down. Someone experiencing burnout might look at tasks they once loved and feel nothing but dread. They might even confuse their symptoms for laziness, which only deepens the cycle of guilt and frustration. But here's the thing, burnout doesn't happen overnight. It's a slow, insidious process, which leads us to the next question. What exactly is burnout? And how can we define it? Burnout is not just feeling tired after a long day. It's a profound state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion caused by relentless stress. Picture this. You're juggling work deadlines, personal responsibilities, and social expectations, all while trying to keep a smile on your face. Over time, the weight becomes unbearable, and you find yourself running on empty. Burnout doesn't just zap your energy, it strips away your ability to cope, leaving you feeling trapped and overwhelmed. It's not a fleeting moment of fatigue, it's a persistent, all-encompassing state that affects every corner of your life. What sets burnout apart is its gradual nature. It doesn't hit you like a lightning bolt. It creeps in like a slow fog. At first, you might dismiss the signs. Maybe you're just a little stressed, or having an off week. But as the stress compounds, it starts to chip away at your motivation, your passion, and even your sense of self. Unlike laziness, which is more of a static trait, burnout evolves over time, often going unnoticed until it's deeply rooted. This is why many people mistake burnout for something else, like a lack of willpower or even depression. The negativity that comes with burnout is intense and unrelenting. Tasks that once brought joy or fulfillment now feel like insurmountable obstacles. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones, struggling to focus, or feeling emotionally numb. It's as if your mind and body are screaming for a break, but you're too caught up in the cycle to hear them. And while burnout can feel isolating, it's far more common than you might think. So common, in fact, that it's worth diving into the numbers to truly understand its impact. Burnout often starts with a subtle but profound disconnection from life. You might feel like you're on autopilot, going through the motions without truly engaging. It's as if you're watching your own life unfold from a distance, emotionally detached and numb. This sense of dispersonalization can make even the simplest interactions feel exhausting. Picture yourself sitting in a meeting or a family dinner, physically present but mentally checked out, unable to connect with the people or the moment. It's not laziness. It's a sign that your emotional reserves are running dangerously low. Another telltale sign is the loss of motivation. Tasks that once excited you now feel like a chore, and even getting out of bed can seem like an uphill battle. This isn't the I don't feel like it of laziness. It's a deep, persistent apathy that drains your energy and focus. For instance, a once passionate teacher might find themselves dreading the classroom, not because they've stopped caring, but because they've been running on empty for too long. This loss of drive often goes hand in hand with losing passion for things you once loved, whether it's your career, hobbies, or even relationships. Burnout also manifests in emotional instability and neglect of self-care. You might notice yourself snapping at loved ones over minor inconveniences or feeling overwhelmed by emotions you can't control. At the same time, basic self-care routines, like eating well, getting enough sleep, or maintaining your appearance, start to slip. Maybe you've stopped cooking meals and rely on takeout, or you've started skipping workouts because you're too exhausted. These changes don't happen overnight. They're part of the gradual decline that defines burnout. And as these signs build, they often lead to more severe stage, which we'll dive into next. Preventing burnout starts with recognizing the early signs and taking action before things spiral out of control. It might sound simple, but small habits like setting boundaries, prioritizing rest, and saying no when you're overwhelmed can make a world of difference. For example, if you're constantly working late, try setting a hard stop at the end of your workday and sticking to it. Prevention isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about consistently choosing small actions that protect your mental and emotional well-being. Think of it as building a safety net before the fall. Seeking help is equally important, especially when burnout has already taken hold. Many people hesitate to reach out, fearing judgment or believing they should tough it out on their own. But here's the truth. Burnout isn't a weakness, and asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do. Mental health professionals can provide tools and strategies tailored to your situation, whether it's through therapy, stress management techniques, or even lifestyle adjustments. Imagine having someone guide you through the fog, helping you regain clarity and control over your life. The key is to act early and not wait until burnout becomes habitual. Recovery is always possible, but it's much easier when you catch it in its earlier stages. If you've noticed changes in your mood, energy, or motivation, don't brush them off. Take a moment to pause, reflect, and consider what steps you can take to prioritize yourself. And remember, you're not alone. Burnout is a shared experience, and there's no shame in seeking support. But to truly address burnout, we need to tackle the stigma and educate others, which brings us to the next crucial step. Awareness. Awareness is the first step in breaking the cycle of burnout, yet it's often clouded by misconceptions. Many people confuse burnout with laziness, assuming that those who are struggling just need to try harder or snap out of it. But this couldn't be further from the truth. Burnout is not a lack of effort. It's the result of prolonged overexertion and emotional depletion. By understanding the difference, we can begin to dismantle the stigma and create a more compassionate dialogue around mental health. Imagine how much easier it would be to seek help if people truly understood what burnout feels like. Education plays a vital role in raising awareness. It's not just about recognizing burnout in ourselves, but also in those around us. For instance, a friend who used to be full of energy might now seem distant or irritable. Instead of labeling them as lazy or unmotivated, consider the possibility that they're experiencing burnout. Sharing knowledge about the signs and stages of burnout can empower others to take action before it's too late. Think of it as planting seeds of understanding, small conversations that can grow into meaningful change. Promoting awareness also means challenging the cultural norms that glorify overwork and constant productivity. In a world that often equates busyness with success, it's easy to ignore the toll it takes on our mental health. But here's the truth. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. By normalizing the importance of balance and self-care, we can create a culture that values well-being over burnout. And as we wrap up this journey through the complexities of burnout, it's time to bring everything together and explore how this knowledge can transform your life. This journey through burnout has shown just how critical it is to understand and address this pervasive issue. Burnout isn't just about feeling tired, it's a gradual, all-consuming state of emotional, mental, and physical exhaustion that can affect every aspect of your life. By learning to differentiate it from traits like laziness, we can break free from harmful misconceptions and focus on what truly matters: recovery and prevention. Recognizing the signs, like disconnection, loss of motivation, and neglect of self-care, gives you the power to take action before burnout takes over. The stages of burnout remind us that change doesn't happen overnight. From the honeymoon phase to habitual burnout, each step offers an opportunity to pause, reflect, and recalibrate. And while the statistics may seem daunting, they also highlight the importance of seeking help early. Whether it's through therapy, setting boundaries, or simply prioritizing rest, there are countless ways to reclaim your energy and motivation. Burnout is not a life sentence. It's a challenge that can be overcome with the right tools and support. Ultimately, this conversation is about more than just burnout. It's about creating a life that values balance, self-care, and mental health. So, as you reflect on everything you've learned, ask yourself, what small changes can you make today to protect your well-being? And remember, you're not alone in this journey. Together, we can build a future where burnout is the exception, not the norm. But before we wrap up, let's dive into how you can take this knowledge and turn it into action. Now that you've uncovered the truth about burnout, it's time to take action. Ask yourself, are you truly taking care of your mental and emotional well-being? Or have you been ignoring the signs? Burnout doesn't resolve itself. It demands your attention and effort to heal. So, what's one small step you can take today? Maybe it's setting a boundary at work, reaching out to a friend, or simply allowing yourself to rest without guilt. The power to change your life starts with recognizing the problem and choosing to address it. But here's the real challenge. Will you let this knowledge sit idle? Or will you use it to transform your life? Imagine what could happen if you prioritized yourself, your energy, your happiness, your peace of mind. Burnout thrives in silence, but by speaking up, seeking help, and making changes, you can break free from its grip. So, what's holding you back? The first step might feel small, but it's the beginning of something much bigger, a healthier, more balanced you. If this video resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who might need it. And before you go, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. This way, you'll never miss out on more insights and strategies to help you thrive. Let's keep this conversation going, because your mental health deserves it.